argue
No,
with
we're not going to
ourselves
argue with ourselves. We're going to argue with the internet
and each other.
and each other. We're going to argue on the internet with each other.
They're just watching.
So who's right?
Well, I'm right, of course.
Oh, right. You should have brought your name
Oh,
plate out
I
here.
brought the placard and stuck it behind us.
Yes. Uh-oh.
I just saw my toes. That's weird.
That's the quote of the day. I just saw my toes. Makes me happy. I know exactly what you were thinking.
I do too now.
That makes me happy.
That's inappropriate for the
Yes,
It is.
It is.
dumb jokes.
But you could have a toe view, just like you have a...
You've actually told that joke.
I
before.
have. Yes.
I told you.
A toadie. I do have a toadie there.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
I did my toes. I know. It doesn't fit with the joke. That's
Not
weird.
the same. Anyways. Sorry, Mom.
Anyway, good morning.
Good freaking morning. Welcome to a Tuesday morning.
Wait. Hold up. Like, I'm bad at math, but it's Monday. But what is Monday?
In which reality
And
is
in
it actually
our
Monday?
days of the week, is that not having the right day of the week? Would that be a math issue?
On the other side of the planet, is it Tuesday right now?
Everything's a math issue.
Everything is a math issue.
Debatable.
No.
Yeah, it's debatable.
Vincent,
No.
Math
you don't
can-
even
It's not.
understand.
Math can go
It
away.
is.
Here's an
Everything
opinion.
comes back to
Cool.
math.
So what is this box made of?
A bunch of math.
Cardboard.
Cardboard.
Remember-
Cardboard's not math.
The hell, it's not.
It's cardboard
How did they
It's-
make cardboard?
with a tree.
And
You
percentages
just
of
you go pull cardboard off the tree out there.
maybe it has.
You go pull cardboard off a tree. I went to the root. I skipped all the middle steps.
That's math.
Math can go to hell.
It's true though.
Math is cool. I don't understand it. Anyway,
You do understand it better than we do.
we
Anyways, we're gonna argue.
are gonna argue.
We already have been.
Why are we not sitting on a couch and arguing?
It's true. I want to lay down.
We need
My feet hurt.
we need multiple cameras. We need to do like live switching and multiple cameras and
I agree.
Okay.
have our own reality show.
We can have.
Oh my goodness, that
What
would
does
be
John
so
say?
bad.
I accept your offer.
I accept you. Yes.
It isn't done yet.
Could you imagine if we had cameras follow us around for a week?
We'd all be fired.
We would be.
John would disown us.
I think we'd get more customers.
Probably.
We're hilarious.
People like that weird
We're
stuff.
hilarious.
It's true.
Because we're hilarious.
We do have
We
a
think
job.
so.
We think it's great.
I
Like
have
Liz
fun.
forgot her socks today.
Yes, Liz is wearing. What? Hold on. Okay.
Here we go.
Hold on.
Here we go. I saw the gears
Here
turning
we
on that
go.
one.
Okay.
Here we go.
Hold on.
Oh no, we're going down.
Okay.
We're going down to the feet.
Okay. Hold on. I got to figure this out.
Camera looking at feet is always dangerous.
It is. This is dangerous.
Careful.
Okay.
Why are you like this?
I'm gonna walk around the corner right now.
What are these things that she's wearing? What are they called?
You might cool new toes.
My cool new toes. Now I
What?
want
The
my-
footwear. Whoa, there's just like my
Oh
nose
my
and my
gosh.
face.
I want my toes on the live.
Okay, are they?
No,
Oh, we
no.
don't tell them what they are. What are they called?
That's what we're asking.
the type of shoe.
Yes, if you were going to go put those on your own feet, what would you call them? I have to go retrieve my.
Or
What?
hey,
There's nobody watching, so there's.
true.
son,
nobody's
can
gonna
you
answer.
go? Can you go get me my shoes? Which ones? Well, those.
Those. What are they called? Tell us
What-
in the comments.
What are they called?
Yes.
We'll have to ask again in a few minutes when we have more listeners,
Yes.
viewers.
Your toes will make 2 appearances on the.
That's probably why they all left.
Yeah, probably.
Noted.
They were blinded by all the shininess of my orange chrome. Anyway, okay, so what are we talking about?
Toes.
Apparently toes.
Differences of opinion. Do we all agree all the time on technique?
Well, we should.
Why?
Because if we all agree, then we're all doing the same thing. And if we're all doing the same thing, that means we're all right. But if someone's doing something different, that means somebody's wrong. I'm here to cause
I
chaos.
don't even know how to answer that.
You should have been a lawyer.
I mean, that's not wrong. Someone's got to be. But it's not wrong. It's just different.
Different is just a
Is
way
anybody
of
wrong?
making you feel better.
Or is it always just different?
It's my truth.
No. No. Charles!
Charles got a haircut.
Charles is here.
Sorry, people. Good morning.
So, okay. So really though, what if you're, and this works on two levels. If you're and let's just keep it gun related. You're a new student, and you hear two different instructors explain things, the same thing, differently, or so differently. We could go down the rabbit hole.
I know, it's
so
hard,
far,
right?
but as a new
can you
student,
talk
you
and I
don't.
go run grab a blue gun?
Oh, I thought you were gonna go grab your flip flops.
Or you could just reach into my back pocket.
Why are you trying to prime people with answers?
You could just reach into my back pocket.
Oh, Vincent!
Oh,
Look at you coming all prepared.
Look at that reaction.
I was when you said, "Oh, Vincent," I was very.
I need
nervous
that
for a
clipped
second.
because I saw his face. He does this. Whoa! He looked at my
Look at what I just pulled off Vinny's left butt cheek. I'm gonna put this back in your left butt cheek for the moment.
Thank you.
There's no holster, so I gotta dig it into the pocket.
Thank you, my lord.
God dang it.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, where are we at? Okay,
What?
so if you're a new student and you take a class from an instructor, we'll just say it's, I don't know, wherever, it doesn't matter. Or it's your neighbor or your friend or whoever. And then you hear it differently from somebody else.
Hear what differently?
Like, let's say you're discussing grip. And you hear it described as one way, like you cross your thumbs. And they even give you a why behind it. And then you go listen to another instructor and they're like, no, you don't cross your thumbs. That's a terrible idea. How do you know who's right, especially as a beginning instructor? And then the difference between being a new person, hearing difference of opinions, and then being a higher level shooter, and then hearing differences of opinions between two very high level competent shooters. Oh, and then I went down some more rabbit holes on grip. Ugh.
This isn't about
think,
you, Elizabeth.
I know. Think about this. Think about those two things for a second, and then we'll back up and tell stories here. So on Saturday, him and I got into a debacle.
Oh, we'll call it that. Shit got thrown.
We didn't. No, we didn't.
I was talking about words. Words
Oh,
got thrown.
right. Words got thrown.
We were arguing.
We were arguing about how to use a cert gun for
A cert gun
Which
is a pistol that shoots laser beams.
two of them.
Only. Yes. That's all it shoots is laser beams.
Two of them.
Use hand.
All of us right away.
Just went for it. Gotta try.
But nothing happened. It didn't like
Anyway,
us. Hold on, let's do it.
we're so weird.
Yes.
It told us we had to turn them on.
Oh.
Okay, so
Anyways.
anyway,
Is it any way or any ways?
Anywheres.
Anywheres.
Anywheres. That sounds like Bennywares.
It's kind of like underwear.
all right, focus. So we were having a debate about using the cert gun, the laser gun, as a training aid to describe your hand moving the gun. And I'm not going to go into complexities of...
Why? We could argue right here on the live.
Now you'll scare the people away.
I don't know. It is difficult to explain it with... But he doesn't agree with my method, and I don't know that I disagree with you. But this demonstration that I show resonates with me, and I have found it to resonate with students to explain how the gun moves when you press the trigger in a certain way. And he does not prefer it because it implies aiming improperly because of the double laser system. One of them's point of impact, if you will, and then the other one is it doesn't show actual point of impact, so it kind of throws off the
The other
well,
one,
if you're expecting it to be here and it's down
by
here.
design,
like-
has nothing to do with aiming. It just has
Right.
to do with the trigger.
Yeah, and
Oh,
showing that you're actually pressing the trigger a little bit. So, regardless, he thinks it could be confusing to certain students, and I found value in it regardless of that, and I haven't found the confusion to be an issue. So we went back and forth on this for a little bit, and I don't think either one of us were wrong necessarily, and it's just a difference of opinion.
well, opinion for sure, but
Different-
I guess methodology or
Look, I mean, learning, like how people learn differently. We don't all learn the same ways, which is why I could say the same thing that Vinny does, but just throw a couple extra words in there because, I'm going to throw extra words in there. And it might make sense to someone else where it might confuse somebody else. So that's why we suggest that you take classes from other instructors, and we'll throw little videos in there so you can hear things in a different way. It's the same thing. It's the same foundation, but you're hearing it in a different way to resonate differently with different people and so on and so forth. So as a beginning student, how do you know which one makes the most sense for you? I think that's where the education really plays a role, is like continue, try different stuff, given that it's not unsafe, and see what works. Hooking the trigger guard, the front of the trigger guard is a big one that people argue on left and right. But
so what does that mean? Vinny, I'm gonna touch your butt. I touched Vinny's butt.
Dinks.
So what she's talking about there is with your support hand, index finger, or maybe your first two fingers, careful, grabbing a hold of the trigger guard. I don't know if they can see that or not, but grabbing a hold of the trigger guard this way. Is that a smart thing to do?
that's why Glock put the texture there, so you're...
Exactly. And I would argue you can.
And you see high-level shooters, Lena
it.
Mitchell, to be a pretty good example of this. She's a world-class shooter, and she hooks her fingers on the front side of the trigger guard, and it works for her. But like I said, if it's what?
I was just going to say, the problem with it is that you see that and you hear that and you think that, okay, well, because she does it, that
It's gospel.
It works
I
for
should
me.
do it, so it should work. Yeah, it works for her, so it should work for me.
Sure.
I personally think grabbing a hold of the trigger guard is a terrible idea.
Yep.
I think that unless you really work hard at doing it the right way, because now you're adding a leverage point here where you can move that gun around a ton. Can it work for some people? Lena's an example. I mean, there's several people that do
Yeah.
it. I think that one example, and I think Lena will even tell you this now, there's an example of her shooting
Two
with two fingers up here. And when you did that little class with her a couple of years ago, she basically said she doesn't do that anymore. She
Yeah.
did that with one specific gun because of one specific thing, and it just doesn't work in general. But she finds that the one finger does work for her, but you have to be really careful that you don't add input to
Yeah.
it, right? When you're clamping down on your grip, because you're going to move the gun around. You're getting a lot of leverage out here.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Which,
Vinny, this
so
is-
the grip boils
butt
down
more
to
this
you
morning.
being able to be consistent. That's
And-
what it boils down to, is you being consistent. If your grip is changing every time you grab the gun, not even where your hand is necessarily, but the pressures that you're applying every time you grab the gun, and combining that with when you're pulling the trigger, you're changing that grip pressure at the exact same time, you're never going to have any consistency, and you're always going to be shanking shit all over the place. So no matter where you put your hands, in my opinion, it boils down to you being consistent and you making it in a repeatable, comfortable manner.
So, and I agree, consistency is key. However, whenever someone is developing their grip, we give some parameters of like, start with your grip here.
Yep.
And for the most part, that is the way to grip a gun, like a handgun. 99% of people will grip it that way and be the most efficient in that way. There's little variations as far as like how far your wrist is canted and pressures and things like
Some of that can be very, very, very personal.
and complicated.
Yeah.
So, but when you take a concept such as like the philosophy, I watched this video, and it was from a very high level instructor, very proficient shooter, and he said, instead of thinking about all the nitty gritty pressures and applications of very, certain digits and things like that, think of it as more of a philosophy. What you're saying, like you want consistency, so that way you predict, it's predictable and it's repeatable. And I totally agree with that statement. How do you take that concept and apply it to a new shooter? Because just the inefficiencies of the new shooter's brain trying to be connected with your hands, because there's still so much going on. How do you say, okay, so this is where you start, but I want you to make it repeatable and consistent? How do you explain that philosophy at that point?
Yeah.
I don't think so. Yeah,
I don't think you can at that level. When you are brand new, trying something new for the first time, the nitty gritties of pressures at my pinky or whatever it is, none of that stuff really matters in the grand scheme of things. I think step number one is very, very simple. Where do I put my hands at? Not what my hands are doing necessarily, but where do they go? How do I hold the thing? Like golf club. I don't know.
I was just going to say the same thing about golf.
I suck at golf. Terrible at it. They've seen it. It's hilarious. Trust me. We'll do it live again. I don't know how to golf. I don't know how to hold onto a golf club the right way. If you try to tell me what my hand should be doing with the golf club when I'm swinging, none of that stuff matters to me because I don't even know where to put my hands in the first place.
You're applying brain power to just
what my hand should do
to the club.
I need to know where to put my hand. That's step one, in my opinion. Is just where do you put your hands at the best way that works for you and your gun. There's a lot of variables in there.
So let me throw in something else. When I have a student that's wanting to test fire different guns and they are not a super proficient shooter yet. Let's just say you're testing out golf clubs. And can you really get a good feel for the tool if you don't have consistency with your grip?
In my opinion, no. Just like you don't test drive cars when you don't know how to drive a car.
But at some point you have to. Like, you can't, like, you
But you
have
need to have a basic understanding. If I go to a motorcycle dealer right now and ask the test drive, guess what they're going to ask me? Do you know how to ride a motorcycle? If I say no, I don't get to test drive.
I mean, but you can get a driver's license and it claims that you know how to drive a car. But I think that's a little bit different because there's regulations that say you have to have some level of training there. But
yeah, but is a gun any different?
yes, because there's no regulations that says you have to be proficient to come in here and buy a gun.
But I am saying that if you want to actually get good information about buying a gun, of which gun works for you, it behooves of you to actually understand how to hold on and shoot a gun. So step one in my mind is not go try guns. Step one is to get comfortable shooting a gun. You don't have to be great at it, but you just need to have a basic level competence of it, of going, cool, I know how to hold on to it. And then you can shoot that gun.
I agree. I think
You guys keep arguing, I'm going to go find a smaller blue gun.
We're talking, we're not arguing.
Whoa, he's
Ooh,
running.
Whoa. Look at him go.
Wow, it was like a deer just frolicking through the woods.
I'm telling Dad you said he frolicked.
Oh no, my shoe fell off.
So now it's a shoe.
We don't know.
Anyways, squirrel.
Okay. So when I have a student that's, trying different guns, and they're like, "Wow, this one recoils a lot more." Mm-hmm. I remind them because it's not to say that they're not competent shooters.
Yep.
But oh man, we should have flipped the camera around. Wow.
I made it.
But I remind them to tighten up their support hand to manage that leveraging point there, and it's distracting.
Sorry.
And then it feels differently to them.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm overthinking it, of course.
Well, I mean, that's the usual, but I always tell, especially when it comes in for new people trying different guns, is I remind people, one, I don't tell them brand names and all that stuff because it doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. You just need to figure out what you like and, more importantly, in my opinion, what you hate. When you're trying out different guns, which one you hate, in my opinion, is more important because if I lay out 17 guns in front of you, there's a higher probability, in my opinion, that you are going to like multiple, or multiple will feel okay to you. But there might be one that stands out that pinches the crap out of your pinky in a weird spot because the grip is super tiny and it's got an extended mag and it pinches you weird like a Glock 26. I don't know nothing about that. Stupid thing. Whatever. Point is, figuring out the one you hate, I want to make sure you don't buy that.
Well, okay, so right here, we're going back to because we got off topic, but it actually circled back around to being on topic. Is like,
you're welcome.
We're saying that, the gun that you like is not the same gun that I like, or vice versa. Like, we shoot very different guns.
Yep.
And that's because the descriptions of technique and the tools and everything like that are personal decisions.
Yep.
But I think as you become more proficient, you're able to weigh different things better to make sure you know what's right for you, and so on and so forth. So,
no.
So I think so. I went and grabbed a couple of guns just because, right? So I just want to show this real quick. Let me slide it.
speak of the devil.
So when we talk about grip, right? Very big picture. Thumbs forward, support hand wrapped over the top of the knife. I had a golfer.
I cannot grab a gun that high.
Stop talking to me. I had a golfer in my class the other day, and she kept trying to interlace her fingers. And I asked her, I said, "Do you play golf?" She said, "Yeah, like 3 days a week." I'm like, "This is different, right?" And it was very interesting because every time she kept trying to figure out, like, how do I interweave my fingers here? Right, so basic grip. Okay, when I'm teaching this to that brand new person, I just pick up the gun. We talk about make a gun, take a gun, get the grip nice and high. We see this a lot, and we make adjustments. Okay, get this thumb up and out of the way, build your grip, squeeze with these fingers, relax the thumbs, and just let them sit there. And if you do that and you like the way that feels, okay, and then you try it with this gun, Glock 26, and you're like, well, now this doesn't fit here, and like, how do I hold on to this? And maybe I don't have anything smaller, but maybe your thumb sticks out here in front of the muzzle because you have big long thumbs. Like, that's a consideration. Like, now you got to change that a little bit, right? But now all of a sudden this just feels weird. This is the same girthiness as that one, right? It's just stubby, right? Then we got this guy, right? That's still stubby and skinny. It's losing on both sides, right? So it's harder to hold on to, and you feel that. Maybe not even so much just holding, but when you shoot it, it's much harder to hold on to the gun, right? So you see that gun slipping out of here. That's not a gun for you, right? I don't think you have to get into the complexities of, relaxing this hand a little bit more so you have trigger finger dexterity and all the little minutia of grip.
I think at the beginning,
with the
it's not a
new
big deal.
person, right?
Exactly.
It's just put your hands here, okay?
And
Yep,
hold on.
slide that. I mean, how many times you try to slide that support hand up because they're holding it down low, right? Just big picture. This is how I want you to hold the gun and shoot the gun. Repeatability doesn't mean anything to them, right? Because all they're worried about is, is this thing going to explode when I pull the trigger, right? They're not worried about seeing the sights come, leave sight alignment and come back down and land perfectly. That's not a thing yet. That's a thing later. I think that if you try to get into the fine details of grip and repeatability and all that for that brand new shooter, that's too much.
Which I think is why the grip shenanigans is, there is no one answer.
Yeah,
absolutely not.
There is no just like, hey, this is what you should be doing, regardless at what level you're at. It doesn't really work that way. There is the basics exact, and I 100% agree with that. Of just, here's how you put your hands. This is where they go. Do this. It'll set you up for success in the future. And then as you become more advanced of a shooter and you start building your confidence and getting better and getting faster, come hang out with me. Anyways, selfish plug. I don't care.
You start
Then
having
you start getting those.
limitations.
You start getting those nuances of what should my hands actually be doing to be able to get me where I want to go, and that's where it can start mattering on those smaller details. But the big picture, starting out, is just where you put your hands.
And I think that you can afford to focus your attention on it because the other stuff is already automatic.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a struggle for some people, and I would be one of them because I don't feel like I can start with big picture, gross concept and then whittle it down to like fine tuning techniques, pinky pressures and hand pressures and all that sort of thing. So we're talking about, there's two instructors we've heard recently describe this grip concept. One of them is more like philosophical, just there's the philosophy of the grip. Like, get your hands on the gun and kind of go with the flow thing, and you don't worry about all the little fine-tuning things. Not to say that they don't matter. It's just like when you're explaining it to someone. Okay, would you agree with that?
I wasn't paying attention. Sorry.
The lights are on, but no one's home.
My brain was thinking about something completely different.
Versus
I was thinking
someone
about trigger
that's
stuff.
versus someone that's like very specific, like pinky pressures, hand pressures, all the things. To me, if I were to be learning something, I would want to know all those fine details to make the technique perfect. And then got faster with it or grow with it or whatever the goal was. Same thing with jiu-jitsu. Like, I want to know that the complexities of the technique, and then I'm able to apply it ongoing as I need to without thinking about it. But if I apply it half-ass, I'm not going to be able to make it work in the process. So and this is exactly
I disagree.
But there's students that want this method, and there's students that want this method. And when you have two instructors that go and they're like, no, that's wrong, or no, that's right, or listen to me, that's wrong. And there's some instructors that do that, and there's some instructors that don't. I think the biggest thing about this is the understanding that just because one says one is right and the other one is wrong, and vice versa, doesn't necessarily mean that's explicitly the case.
Two things can be right at the same time.
Yes, and for different people and different learning styles and all this other stuff. So
I 100% agree with that, and it's just a matter of figuring out what works with the majority, because you can never make everybody happy if they're possible. It's not possible.
I think as instructors, it's good to be able to teach both methodologies, though, or multiple methodologies, and it's the way that you hold a gun is much different than the way I hold a gun because of our anatomy. Like, you can get your hand like really high up there. I cannot do that. Like, that just, my wrist gets out of alignment then, and I can't even grip tightly. It's just a difference of our hands.
Freaking fix it.
I know.
Elizabeth.
Right.
Do better.
So if you only taught that, like, no, you need to get your hand up higher. You need to get it higher. Like, that's not going to benefit all shooters. And I know that you don't teach that. I'm not saying that. But it's like, it doesn't have to be exactly the same. So that's where the philosophical approach makes more sense.
Can we go back to an arguing point that we started arguing?
Sure, absolutely.
About needing to know all the fine details ahead of time.
Yeah.
If you equate that to jiu-jitsu and a Kimura grip, if you want all the details about rolling this wrist and rolling this and lifting an elbow and driving the hand, but you don't realize that you're supposed to grab a hold of the wrist first and reach over the top and grab your own wrist, what do all these little details matter?
They do matter, because then I lose the
so
grip.
I was trying to teach somebody that this morning. I was rolling with Josh, and he was gassed, and we just wanted to go to some fundamental stuff. And I don't want to turn us too far down the road of jiu-jitsu, but he felt when he was in a closed guard position, he was the one on the bottom, that he was in trouble. And I'm like, dude, this is it's a guard position. You're in control here. So we just talked about it, the concepts of it, and big pictures of attacks that he could do from there. He wasn't ready for the fine details of he was trying to figure out, like, how do I push your hand this way and wrap over the top, right? The big detail of the Kimura grip versus how to actually submit me with it.
To finish it, yeah.
And that was more important to understand first, because once he's got it and got it locked up, now we can start dealing with, when you understand the big picture, now you can start working on the details and fine tune, at least for me, right? Like, I feel like if I explain all the detail of every little thing and then say go, you're like, shit, that's like 75 things I'm supposed to try to figure out how to do now.
And that makes sense. And I think because I'm at a spot with certain things where I'm looking for those like extreme fine details to grow in that regard. And yeah, that makes sense. So I'm trying to relate it to guns, though.
Yeah, so I like big concepts, you know, somebody walks in and says, show me how to hold a gun. Put your hand here. Like, I don't even care. I lost all my guns. Found it. You know, I don't even care exactly if this is all exactly right. You know, if they can get the big picture stuff and this thumb is just in a weird spot, okay, at least you have a basic understanding. Now let's understand that, hey, I want this to be a little bit more over here, right? Not super fine detail. I still just want it to be comfortable, and I want you to think about gripping the gun with these fingers, and don't worry about your thumbs. And so then we can start hitting some of those fine details. You know, when I see them digging their thumbs down or something, I can say, hey, let's just relax those things and not worry about that. Just grip here.
So maybe this is part of my agreeableness, but when I have a student that if I let them relinquish some of the specifics of their grip or whatever technique it is we're covering, just for the overall inoculation phase or whatever, just shoot the gun, sight, smell, sounds. And I am actually not a fine tuner like that with a beginning shooter. Like, I agree with what you're saying, but if I have a student that will not let it go, and I can actually envision myself with a concept that I'm learning, like I would sort of be that person. It's like, I want to know the technique deeply. Not to say that I'm believing that I'm going to be able to apply it right away, but I at least want to know the details. And this is so interesting because it's backwards to the way I typically think. Like, I want to see big picture first and then get the details. But when it comes to like doing physical things, like I want to see the big picture, then the details, and then open it back up again. It's weird. But if I have a student that does not want to continue on until their grip is perfect every time, like, they will tell me, like, fix my grip every time it starts to fail. Like, fix it. I want it to be perfect for every single shot. And they are in a different state of mind. They're not going to learn anything unless I make sure that their grip is perfect, and they get frustrated. And so then I'm like, okay, well, let's make it perfect every single time. So there's just a difference in students, you know, in that regard too.
So I have something I want to talk about, but first thing, can you just make sure the comments are actually, because nothing's happened.
That's true. There is no comment. That makes me nervous.
Yeah. So you guys got to say something to us. Say
yeah,
hi or
someone
something.
say something so we know it's
So,
happening.
and it shows that there's 12 people watching. So we're going to go back to what we did at the beginning.
I got you.
Oh my God.
Elizabeth, back up.
Oh yeah, there's lots of comments.
There are.
Oh, lots of comments.
Lots of them.
Okay, so
Dan even said girth.
what? What are these? What are these shoes called that Elizabeth is wearing? We need to know what those shoes are called. Why don't we? It says comments will appear here, but
Yeah.
there's nothing there.
Here, I'll go through them. There's
Okay.
a bunch.
Okay.
Glenn says good morning.
Good morning, Glenn.
Moberly. Rich
Moberly?
Rich was in there. He says good morning.
Good morning, Rich. Vincent, mute your thing. I can hear
no.
me talking. I'm already annoying enough. I don't need to hear me twice.
Brian says he wants to play with my gun. My staccato. It's a staccato. Brett
Did
says
you just
the
say
Glock.
it's a staccato?
It's a staccato.
Oh my gosh.
Brett says the Glock 26 is the worst. You deserve to get pinched if you use one. I agree. Dan said girth. Brett asked if I trimmed my beard. I did not. Well, I mean, I did it a
You
while ago.
do.
I mean, I
Like,
get
he
it.
cleans
I
it
get
up.
it cleaned
Yeah.
up every now and then because I get too homeless looking.
A little homeless is okay, but too much.
Jim says good freaking morning. And Jim
Good
also says
freaking morning,
you
Jim.
should start with the basics. Jan also says good morning.
Morning,
Come on,
Jan.
Jan.
Stupid Apple phone won't
Yeah.
show us the comments, Elizabeth.
But I have an Apple phone that's showing me the
I know,
comments.
but uh-oh.
Look at that. Whoa.
We just created a
Black hole.
a vortex.
Can I see,
Inception.
I can see me seeing me see you.
Oh boy. My brain hurts.
So where
What's
I was
else?
going to go next, so we also need to know what those things are called.
What
You
are
gotta
my
put in the
shoes
comments,
called?
What are those shoes called?
What are they called?
Yes, we need to know.
Yeah.
What do you call them? By the way, Elizabeth forgot socks today, so she has
I'm
no
wearing
socks
I'm wearing these shoes.
until she goes to Target.
Now we're trying to figure out what they're called.
Yes.
And who's right.
Anyway, well, I don't even know. Now, anyway, doesn't matter. So, as a new student who's maybe trying to be self-taught, or maybe you took a basic pistol class from us, and it was Vin, or it was me, or it was Dave, or whoever.
Not me.
And then you go home and you're watching videos, and you're like, "What?" So we recently took a class where somebody offered up a common good grip on a Glock is this. Digging its thumb into this little ridge here and clamping down on top of it.
All right, guys, we gotta take a pause.
Me and Liz left the class after that.
We got a
but
problem.
this was taught. What, Vincent?
So far we got 3 people in a row that all say they're freaking slides. I even commented in there right when I followed this verse too. I go, Liz is about to be happy. Everyone has said slides, and one of them even said, and I quote, slides, because your foot slides into them.
Oh, got it.
And
So-
I slide my foot into these shoes.
Yeah.
So now these are slides too.
But Vinny said his shoes should be called pull up tongue, push foot in.
That's what I do. I pull up tongue, I push foot in.
Dong.
Tongue.
That's what happens. So that's what I'm going to call them now.
These are not. What kind of shoes are these?
I don't know.
They're pull up tongue slip shoes.
Thank you.
Pull up tongue slips.
See now,
Pull up to
They're pull
Brent
up
is
tongue
awesome.
slips.
Brent says slide sandals.
slide sandals.
Slide sandals.
Slide sandals.
Ooh, what is a sandal?
It's a shoe that you wear in the sand. Sand.
That's a good description. I like
Sandal.
that, Vinny. Is it still a sandal if I don't wear it in the sand? It's meant to wear in the sand.
Well, it depends on what you're walking on. It
Yeah.
could be a dirtle.
Dirtle.
It's a dirtle.
What's a dirtle? A
It's
dirtle.
it's a sandal that goes in the dirt.
Dirt.
This is a reedle. A concreteal.
Elizabeth. Language.
Sorry, we're gonna beep that one out.
We're live. You can't. There's no beeps.
I'm sure my iPhone has the capability of doing that.
Nope.
We'll figure that out.
I'm here to cause chaos.
Anyway, so differences of opinions on the basics of grip, and there's everything else in between that goes in there when it comes to stance or sights or trigger press.
Jerking the trigger.
Dr-
Oh, press and pull. Ooh, man.
God. Hold on. Dan just said the
Squeeze
none
the
of them are
trigger,
right.
pull the trigger,
pull
press
up
the
tongue slips equals our band name.
Pull
Pull up
up
tongue
tongue
slips.
You
slips.
just came across our band pic, or
Yes.
our band picture
It's
of
our
our
band
album
name.
cover. Yeah, you got to do it.
I gotta do it.
We're the pull up tongue
So
slips.
I got into an argument with one of our instructors about trigger press and pull and squeeze and all that nonsense. He explicitly says you say nothing other than press, trigger, press. Okay. Now what?
I don't. It just that whole thing just drives me freaking crazy. But anyway, here's our album cover.
We are, and
We're
I
the-
quote, the pull up tongue slips.
We're the pull up tongue
Pull up
slips.
tongue slips. That's
Zach also says if it's not Crocs, then it's flip flops.
But you slip your foot into Crocs.
Yeah, but Crocs are
but
Crocs.
do you slide your foot into them?
Wait, what brand are those? Those are actually Pumas.
Pumas.
That's what they are.
What does
They're
that mean?
Pumas.
Oh, they're
Those
Pumas.
are Pumas.
My son has Pumas that have laces on them. That doesn't
Okay, those
make
are
any
still
sense.
Pumas. Workplace violence.
Yes.
I'm about to endure it.
So, what, you just snorted.
Oh, God.
Elizabeth
Dang it.
just snorted on the live.
High five. Got one. It's a good day.
What the heck?
I don't even know where you were going. What?
Trigger press. I
Oh
won't
yeah,
forget
is
that
it
one.
press, pull,
Okay.
push,
So
rip?
look, listen,
Listen.
Listen, Linda.
Linda. When you press something, do you ever press something this way?
A trigger.
No. You press it this way. I'm gonna press a button. It
So
almost
what do you
always
do?
go away from.
How do you manipulate your trigger?
I apply pressure to it.
I mean, I don't disagree, but I can also poke this. That's not pressing. I poked it.
That is but irrelevant because we don't move the trigger forward. we pull
Move
it
it.
back. We pull it back. It's like, well, if you say
So you
squeeze
go
or if
pull-
you say pull, you're gonna increase the likelihood of they're gonna squeeze their whole hand. Look, I say trigger press just because it's like it makes the most sense to people in the industry, I think. Like, and you know, if I have a newer student, they're like, nobody's ever asked me about it. Really.
I would have never thought when somebody says press the trigger straight back that I don't ever envision or imagine that.
I understand that, and I think that's why it works. But my point is that it was the instructor that gave such a you
absolute-
can't
an
use
absolute.
anything other than this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that bothers me.
Yeah.
Yes,
I don't
agree.
like absolutes like that because
Because it's not an absolute.
it's not. And you say words matter. Like, well, you can't use anything other than press because words matter. If words matter and you look up press means you. I actually don't know what the definition of press is.
Press means you. Well, I don't actually.
Oh, that was
I don't know.
Chefkis.
I
That
don't know
was
what it means.
perfect.
But tell me anything other than a trigger that you press backward. You pull it. You bring it towards you instead of away from you. Are you looking
Oh,
at
my,
press?
no.
Okay.
I'm looking at the comments real quick.
Oh, I'm sure that's glorious.
Brent says, next debate. Can a group of instructors get together and not use the word proficient 1,000 freaking times?
Proficient? I don't think I really
Proficient.
used that at all. I
People
probably
get
used it
hung
like
up
4
on
times
language.
during this live.
Brent, I agree.
Proficient.
Everyone gets so angry about it. I just say, make the thing
Well-
move without moving your gun.
Yeah.
Move the thing without moving the big thing.
Oh, prep. Man, some instructors are like, don't prep your trigger. Just go with the flow.
And there's some value to that.
Yeah,
there's
absolutely.
There's value. There's
Value to all of it.
dang it. Yeah, I mean it's understanding the end result that you want and applying whatever technique is necessary. There's not one right way. When we were zeroing your gun the other day, I was pulling the trigger differently than if I was trying to shoot a bill drill,
Absolutely.
because I was being much more careful to make sure that I'm not adding any other input as
little
I'm
sh-
adding as little input as possible, just to manipulate the trigger. What was the word? Proficiently.
Proficient.
I just wanted
Now
to say.
Brent's upset.
If I'm just shooting, I'm not as I don't have to be as careful because I'm not trying to hit a 1-inch bullseye. I'm trying to hit a 5x5 square or an 8-inch circle or whatever.
So let me ask you about the aiming thing. I think I brought it up recently because it was kind of maybe a realization for
Well,
me.
I got a good one for you.
Okay.
Someone just put the definition of press. Move or cause to move into a position of contact with something by exerting continuous physical force.
So that works.
That does work.
It does work.
It does.
It
But
does
I
work.
think semantically, right? I think that would be the appropriate context of semantics is within the context of the whole sentence.
Yeah.
I think, and colloquially,
That, my friends, is called a
it's
stroke.
press is commonly referred to things moving that way. Again, I want to know an example of something you press towards your body and not away from you. So, anyway,
Depends on how you're holding it.
okay, but
You
give
have
me
a su-
another option. Just give me something
You get
else.
shot in the chest and you have a sunken chest wound and you need to apply a chest seal on your chest. You have to press it in. So you're pressing into your body.
Okay, that works.
He's right.
Yay. I'm going away.
I'm ready to take the win.
And I'm out.
Well, how many of you out there you have pressed a chest seal to yourself?
I
We'll
mean,
see.
in training, I've done it a lot. And it's awful because they're sticky. And I'm hairy.
Anyway, don't get too hung up on
Words.
all the stuff. And you go and you watch. We tell our students like go watch videos, and if you have a question, if something seems wrong that you're hearing, that somebody's adamant is right, send it to us.
Yeah.
And we'll explain. Either maybe you just don't understand what they're trying to say, or the instructor's an idiot.
But how do
maybe
they-
it's not an instructor, maybe it's just a person.
And how do they know?
They
if
don't
it's-
know. That's
yeah,
that's part of the problem.
and that's yeah.
How do they know that they can trust us?
Yeah.
Right. Like it's the same thing. Like you don't. when you're new, you don't know what you don't know. You take, if you go to, I think we talked about this last week or maybe 2 weeks ago, like you look up firearms instructor in the yellow pages, right? And it says, okay, you could go to the Range St. Louis West, or you could go to AAA firearms training because it's above them in the phone book. If you don't remember phone books, that's how they worked. And so you call them first, and you just go there.
Yeah. I think you just have to roll the dice sometime. Like, for example, there was an instructor that I met, and he said he was an instructor, and he seemed cool. And I was like, whatever, cool. Then I took his class, and I'm like, this dude's awesome.
I thought you were going to go the other way.
And it took like, I knew he was a trainer, I knew he was an instructor, I knew he was going to be teaching the class, and I knew I was going to take the class, but I didn't know anything about him or what his class was, what it was going to be. I knew nothing. I just heard that the dude taught a class, and I was like, all right, whatever, cool. I'll go. And then I took the class, and I was like, you know what? I freaking like this guy, and I want to do more with him because I like what he did.
So how can you trust your opinion on instructors like that? Like, what have you done to trust your own opinion of someone else or technique or something like that? What is something that
why I would trust myself on something like that?
yeah, why would you trust anybody's opinion, especially yourself? Like, because you have built a foundation of knowledge, right?
Yeah.
Like, the more that you learn about something, the more that you can make good, responsible decisions, make your own opinion, because you have more contextual evidence, surrounding this one specific thing to relate it to, whether it's your own understanding of yourself and your skills, the tool, teaching styles, whatever it is, but you can form your own opinion with the more education and foundation that you've gathered over time. We come across instructors all the time, or people all the time, that maybe they have something really good to say, but they're just not good at saying it, or maybe they are not saying the right things, and it's like, okay, I can choose to finish out this class or finish out this video knowing that this one thing I don't agree with, but it doesn't, like, there might be other things within there that are okay or something like that. So you can make your own decisions.
How many times, this is part of the danger of this world, right? How many classes have you gone to, like women's self-defense classes,
Oof.
that were garbage?
Yeah, that sucks.
You knew it was garbage because of your foundation of information, but the brand new people were like, this guy knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
I just paid him money to give me information, so the information he's giving me must be valuable.
Yep.
And they don't know, because you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
And we understand that responsibility that we have to try to impart good knowledge on you, but and I don't necessarily think that maybe these other people were being
malicious.
Yeah.
like they weren't doing it on purpose. They thought they were passing on good information, but
That's why I say you should take multiple classes, even if it's the same class, from different people. Because as you train with more and more different people, you'll start getting a better understanding of, like, you know what I just took is starting to sound like it makes a lot more sense than what I got told a month ago.
And ask why.
yeah,
Oh.
that's a big one. Why?
When you come across something that either doesn't fit what you currently know or understand, or whatever, it's brand new to you, ask why. Like, why do I hold my support hand high and forward and tighten with this finger, whatever? Like, why does that matter? And if the instructor can give you a why, that's
Cool.
going to help you retain it and understand the big picture of something.
What if the why is because I said so?
Then that's
That's
pretty
a-
good indicator that you don't belong there.
Called
Yeah.
a red flag.
That's
Yeah.
a red flag.
That's
That's,
a-
called
that's
a red,
red
flag.
flag.
Check the comments.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, I love asking why.
Oh dude,
No shit.
I'm shook.
I am getting it back tenfold from my boys. So, but I find value in that. I need to know the why to, yeah.
You don't have to worry about pressing or pulling the trigger if you slap or jerk the trigger
Or
instead.
squeeze it. That's the
Nah,
best
you got
one. Squeeze it.
You just do what I do. Just slap the trigger like it owes you money. Or
And you can do that.
Now the
yeah,
real
you
question
can.
is,
You gotta do sometimes.
what is the best digit on your hand to use to release your mag? Well, I can tell
Your
you
nose.
the simple answer. No, it's the
Your
palm of your hand. It's the palm of your hand is the best option because it is impossible to do fine motor skills
Yeah.
under stress.
Can't miss it.
You can't
Very
miss
true.
it. So that way, when you have
Slap
your
the side of
you
your
have
gun.
your gun in your hand, this thumb is not capable under high levels of stress
No.
to press that button.
Terrible.
So instead, all you got to do is break that grip, bring that gun back, smack the crap out of it, and then that's what you have to do because fine motor skills go away under stress. That's what the internet told me.
Yeah, right.
Just kidding.
So you should
Just
they
kidding.
need to make that trigger guard wider so you just get your whole hand.
No,
in
I would
there.
say releasing the mag is your dominant thumb, your non-dominant thumb, your dominant pointer finger, or your non-dominant pointer finger, or sometimes the non-dominant middle finger. It depends on the gun. It depends on you.
Yeah.
Left-handed, right-handed, the gun setup, the gun type. There's so many variables.
Yep.
So in other words,
What if it's at the I guess if it's at the bottom of your grip.
bottom,
Get a new gun.
non-dominant.
Get in your gun.
Your gun is old. Get a new gun.
It's valid.
So it just depends, and that's why coming to classes gives you the opportunity to experiment, try different things, see what works, see what doesn't work. And
So what? While we're on that topic, what digit do you use to drop a magazine?
digit do I use?
Yeah. On your staccato.
I use my dominant thumb.
Okay. What do you use, Liz?
Same thing.
Same.
Dominant thumb. I have to
Same.
break my grip to reach it though.
Yeah, I have to break my grip on every gun. I don't know what gun I've held in recent times that I can hit this little button without having to break my grip because I got little stubby fingers. So it is what it is for me. That's a normal thing for me. I accept it.
Yeah, I don't think it's a huge deal.
It's not. It's just a matter of figuring out what works for you.
When I put that chalk on my hands, it actually makes it more difficult for me to hit my mag release because I can't move my
You can't
hand.
slide
Yeah.
your hand as well.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
But then
Yeah.
you lose your grip and you shoot worse.
I want to test that theory, I
I
guess, but
Told you, I'm here to cause
but
chaos.
also whenever I put chalk on my hands, my support hand pulls my fingers here, and then it restricts this even more because my support hand's grippy and it pulls on these fingers. So if it's less focused on my
Vaseline.
palm.
Put Vaseline on your hands. Obviously, the opposite will make it more better.
I don't know
better.
why. All I imagined was a bucket of it just shoving your hand in it.
God dang.
I want to try that.
No! Oh
I
my
want to try
god!
it. I
We'll
wanna
try it on your gun.
Yeah,
No,
right.
no, then my hand will be all gooey.
Yeah,
Not the good gooey, the bad gooey.
that's it.
What? Gooey butter cookies. Those are gooey. They're delicious.
Oh my goodness, man, that does sound delicious.
See?
The chocolate ones.
Not all gooey is bad. Now I want a gooey butter cookie. What were we
Okay.
talking about?
Cookies.
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 Which one's better, the chocolate or the regular?
Regular.
Chocolate.
Gooey butter or regular cookies are better.
Chocolate.
No, hard
hands
pass.
down.
I would.
No.
I,
Chocolate.
I would take the regular.
No.
They're both there. I'd probably choose the regular one.
What about?
Now we got more people.
What
Hello,
about,
everybody.
What about
Yo.
do you like the lemon flavor in them
And
sometimes?
gooey butter? I don't know that I've ever had it. I
That's
do
not
like
good.
lemon flavor.
It's true. They said at least my gun will be well lubed. I dip my hand in Vaseline. Actually, I kind of want
What?
to try Vaseline on my gun, see if that works as a grease.
I'm not gonna be in the same.
Wait, but if you heat up Vaseline, it becomes liquidy. So that would, it's grease and oil at the same time.
Isn't that kind of how most? Just no. Never mind. Disregard.
Panic.
Panic.
Yeah. Anyway, so I think we just said don't believe everything you heard on the internet. Is that what we came down to?
Wait, we're on the internet.
I know.
Don't believe me.
No, I think the big picture is learn as much as you can so you can make your own decisions on what's right for you.
I
Because
agree.
I
Look at us. We all agreed.
Whoa.
Wow.
Oh,
And
wow.
and as an instructor, don't belittle other people's opinions unless it's like unsafe or
Yeah.
you I mean, and if you do, like give a why. But I think I don't think and the people I listened to, I didn't feel like we're belittling each other, but they did discredit the technique. I don't know. That's my feelings,
We need a couch.
my emotions.
We need a couch.
So
Can't everybody just get along?
what if you have a student who has teacups? Is there anything
Unsafe. about it.
unsafe about this?
No.
Shooting this way. If you don't know what teacupping is, this is what it is. Shooting a gun tea cup.
We're not serving tea, we're firing guts.
So, is there anything unsafe about that?
No.
No.
No, there's not. Is it proficient
Oh.
or efficient? No, it's not.
For one shot, it'd be fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
If your goal is to shoot bullseyes, can I shoot bullseyes this way?
Yes.
Yes, I can. If I want to shoot rapidly, is this a good thing? No, this is garbage.
Garbage.
This is terrible because the gun moves around a lot. That's when your grip really starts to matter, right? So if somebody wants to shoot this way and they're shooting bang or bang,
Oh. You got to turn sideways to shoot one-handed.
bang,
On the video, it looks like
it
you're
just you can shoot bullseyes that way.
Yep.
It's just you can't shoot bullseyes fast that way. And our goal, is typically for us is to shoot quickly and make good hits rapidly, not just shoot one shot and reset and shoot one shot.
And you can shoot accurate bullseyes slowly with the same grip as that you use to shoot bullseyes quickly.
Quickly. Yeah.
Like, so have one consistent grip. There's that philosophy.
Yeah.
Like, hey, repeatable, predictable. Like, it's this one grip has an efficient nature and a precise nature. So I think
Thanks, Jan. Jan says, y'all are all good at looking at individual students with his or her gun and making the best changes for excellence.
excellence. Ooh,
Excellence.
I like that. Thanks, Dan.
Thanks.
Dinks.
Feel
We try.
special.
Special.
Special. Oh, and then someone else said chocolate as far as the Goody Butter thing. I
that's
still
right.
disagree, but
Well, it's
even though his
Maybe when
Name
you
is
go buy
Dominic,
socks
so I
today,
kinda
you're
like
going to
it.
have to get us some gooey butter cookies.
wait, why does
No.
she need to buy socks?
Because she forgot her socks and she's wearing.
anybody else
flip-flops.
want to chime in
Ah.
on what they're called?
Yes, if you gotta see her shoes. Are they slides? Are they flip flops? Are they
They're flip flops.
Slippers.
They're sandals.
slippers? Thongs? It's a weird word.
That's a
It is
weird
a weird
word.
It is a weird word.
It's a
I had a hard time even saying it out
The
loud.
night-
But that's what I called them forever until I went in the Marine Corps. Then they were shower shoes.
They were. That's true.
Oh,
They are
when I
shower
went to go
shoes.
get my pedicure yesterday, they have like the really
Flimsy
look
ones.
like prison shoes. That's what Kelsey called it. Like they're like prison flip flops, like the disposable ones.
Yeah.
It's funny. I wore them
Yeah.
around. It's great.
So, anyway,
Time is it?
it's
about that time.
9 o'clock.
9 o'clock.
It's about that time. We still things going on in the store. We still have. We will pay your tax stamp. So for any, it's just suppressors. If you buy any center fire suppressor, we will we'll pick up the tab on the tax stamp. So take advantage of that. It's for in-stock stuff only. We've got a good selection of cans here. Come in, check them out, ask all the questions. Oh, dang it. We were supposed to have Dan on this morning. That just popped in my head. We were supposed to have Dan on this
Why?
morning to talk about suppressors.
Oh.
And the buying process and all that. Maybe we'll have to, I don't know if we're going to be able to do it any other day this week.
Yeah.
We got weird stuff going on.
We'll figure it out.
Wiley X glasses are on sale, 25% off.
Tech Pro 5 magazines with your P365 macro for like $700.
That's crazy.
Crazy price.
That is crazy.
Yeah. So check those out too.
Oh
The little Streamlight, 40%
yeah, we still
off.
have some TLR ones. It's a cool little flashlight
TLR
for
one, yeah.
40% off.
Yeah.
TLR, no, not TLR one.
Yeah, that's the
That's the-
not
that's the-
weapon
That's a
one.
weapon.
Yeah, not TLR
No,
one.
not that
not
one.
It's here, I got one in my pocket.
Oh, no.
The 1L, ProTac 1L. This is a 2L, but it's a stubby.
Still bright.
Yes. Anyway, we got cool stuff going on here.
Yeah.
We should have a video coming out today.
Oh God,
If you watched
I'm nervous.
our
it's great.
the baseline drill that me and Vin ran, go to our YouTube channel, watch it if you haven't seen it. It's the one where my mustache changes in the middle of the video. But go watch that. So we run the drill there, 200 possible points. We shot I think he shot a 198, I shot a 197. We ran that drill again with an LCP. We had 4 students show up to class, or 3 out of 4 students show up to a class on Saturday with LCPs. So then I thought, you know what? Let's go downstairs and run it. Woo!
I don't like it.
I don't like it, but the
like
videos,
That's great.
it's pretty
Oh
funny.
my gosh.
So you got to
It was a
watch
good
that.
time.
It should go up today. Charles should be posting it up today. I'm sure it'll be here on Facebook and on YouTube. But go to our YouTube channel, please. If you haven't already subscribed to it, please do. We have like 4.5 subscribers, I think, and we need more than that. So
I'm
go
one of them.
Tell all your
Am I the
friends.
half?
yeah, maybe it's just us.
Vinny's the half.
Vinny is the half. Go check out our YouTube channel, please, and comment on that video. I don't want to give too much away, but let us know what else you want us to shoot. Other fun stuff. to
Yeah,
shoot.
other
To shoot
other
the drill.
guns to run the
Run the drill
baseline
with.
assessment with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it.
You got anything, Elizabeth?
Negative.
Vincent, you got anything?
Check the comments one more time.
Oh, yeah.
Make sure we don't miss anything.
She'll do that. Refresh, you heathen.
Come on, Pokey Leone.
I'm moving as fast as I can.
Good job, Vinny.
I can't say that online. It's in the comments, but I'm not saying
Are
that.
you gonna what? What's it say?
It's the very bottom one.
We need a couch. What? Vinny. I don't get it.
I don't either.
You don't get it?
No.
No.
Oh, okay.
She
IDPA on
just said it.
Thursday.
Yes, we have IDPA on Thursday.
Yay.
I'm so confused.
Me too. If you
Vinny
guys
says we
need
need a
something
couch.
if you need confusion, come see Vinny.
Yes. If you need confusion.
We are open 10 to 8 Monday through Friday, Saturday 9 to 6, Sunday 10 to 6. If you guys need something, come see us. You guys stay safe. Be nice to one another. You guys stay safe. Be nice
Apparently,
to one another.
that quote came when he said, and I quote, "It was when Phil pulled out his stubby."
Okay.
Yeah. Later.
Bye.
Bye.
Hit the button, Elizabeth.